Thank you, Madam President and members. I stand here today as a proud member of the Mental Health Caucus, and I'm proud to stand with my good friend, the Senator from San Jose, to advocate for our constituents with mental illness. Stigma is something that I learned about after becoming a county supervisor in 2005, and I recognized that more needed to be done to reduce the stigma, and I worked very closely with the National Association of Mental Illness, and we did annual walks to raise the awareness of mental illness. I'm also very proud of the pharmaceutical profession and coming up with much better drugs to treat things like depression today that adds quality of life to many people that suffer from this debilitating disease. But my friends, mental illnesses account for the largest proportion of disability in developed countries, more than any other group of illnesses, including cancer and heart disease. We've accomplished a lot together over the years, but there's still much more that we all know needs to be done. People are dying on our streets as we debate this resolution, but people with the necessary attention can in fact be saved. Sadly, there are several geographical variations of mental illness. It's been shown that the state's poorest areas have the highest mental illness, including the Inland Empire, where I govern. The poorest areas often have the least number of licensed healthcare professionals, and we can ask why. Well, either those services cannot be afforded because they're expensive, or because of our low Medi-Cal fees offered to physicians, including psychiatrists, that care for 35% of the medical population that will rarely see a psychiatrist or a psychologist because these professionals refuse to work for free. We have roughly 114,000 homeless people in the state of California, where we know that many suffer from mental illness, sadly, including veterans. We already pay a high cost for these forgotten people. The estimated cost of taxpayers is about $100,000 per person due to expenses incurred for their medical care, law enforcement, and social services. These costs are wiping out the general funds of our cities and counties, and it's now time to step up to the plate and offer true, expeditious, and humanitarian assistance. So my colleagues, let one member of the minority party challenge you, the majority party, to not just talk the talk via this resolution. Celebrating the words of yet another mental health awareness resolution is simply not enough. Let's work and continue to work in a bipartisan way. Let's unite and let's stand up and walk the walk together and demand change right here and right now. Mental illness does not discriminate. It does not choose Democrats over Republicans, poor versus rich, or young versus old. Mental illness does not care about your race, your color, your national origin, or your sexual orientation. It is a true illness or disease, unlike the many physical ailments that we seem to treat with a much higher urgency and priority. Colleagues, we will soon learn that our budget surplus this year will be much larger, in the billions of dollars, much more than we projected. This may be the largest revenue the state of California has ever seen since we became a state, September 9th, 1850. We can't stand here and say any longer that we just don't have the money to address mental health issues, because in fact we do have the money. We no longer can say treating the mentally ill remains our top priority, as many of you have mentioned today, if we choose not to truly act. No longer can we ignore the vast human suffering and inhumane conditions we see every day on the streets of all 58 counties that we all represent, including women and children who desperately need our help. Let's put our money where our mouth is. We should use our budget surplus and allocate it to all counties as a proportion to the most recent homeless county census. It should be a matching grant, matching 3 state dollars for every $1 offered up by each and every county. We should treat the allocation with the same urgency that we do when dispersing money in state disasters. My friends, is this not a state disaster? Let's show the country and the world that we stand united and tall to address all human suffering, including those stricken from mental illness. People need our help right here right now in our own state. As a mental health advocate, John Lewis once said, we must bring the issue of mental illness out into the sunlight, out of the shadow, out of the closet. Deal with it, treat people, have centers where people can get the necessary help. It's time, colleagues, to finally address this mental health humanitarian crisis on our watch. Please join the esteemed senator from San Jose and support SCR 127.